We are live. We have liftoff. Here we go. Yes. All right. Okay. Nobody's here yet, but they should be soon. Let's make sure we're broadcasting on Kimono My House. Just wait a second because we already have some viewers. Good. So give me 1 second to make sure.
I apologize for not doing a sound check.
As both of you probably
saw, I had restrung my guild over here, and it did not leave my hands for 2 hours.
Listen, I follow what you're up to these days, buddy. I know that thing didn't leave your hands for a couple hours. I know.
Gosh, it's been so long since I've played it, man. It's just magic.
I think it's wonderful. Okay, so we are now live in Kimono My House. Welcome everybody to One Hit Wonderful, the show where in a half an hour we go deep into one hit by one artist. And this week we have, drum roll please,
Tom Cheshire.
Yay! We love him. Hi Tom, tell us what you've been up to. What have you been up to today? You've had a crazy day, Tom.
I've had a crazy day, but it's been a wonderful day. Busy working. You got to make money, but also working on other projects. I have some art projects coming out, some music projects coming out, and just a wonderful day. I feel like after this crazy year, I just, I'm starting to feel like I guess I officially am back in this town of Atlanta, which has been so good to me as a musician, as an artist. So I try to put out the good stuff, and I'm getting back the good stuff. So a lot of exciting stuff's happening.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Yeah, you're the man about town. You're the toast of the town. You're Mr. Champ. Everybody knows you. Everybody loves you. Can we give a shout out to Mako Fumi?
Oh, please. Yeah. What's up, Mako Fumi? Yes. Yes, all the people we collaborate with, Mr. Lars Nagel, everyone else,
Tom.
Yes.
Tell the fine folks about what you and Lars are doing June the 12th.
Oh, great. Yes. I heard Lars talk about that last night. I didn't know if it was confirmed, but Walk Street Records is a fantastic old school vinyl rock and roll record shop, punk rock record shop that's in Atlanta. And they contacted him asking him to perform on Record Store Day. And Lars, being a true mate, being an awesome brother, he was like, well, man, can my friend Tom Cheshire from Western Hotel perform? And they're like, we'd love it. We'd love to have him. So I believe that'll be the first time Lars and I share the stage, even if it's a sidewalk outside the record store, probably since 1999.
What?
And
holy cow!
I could not be more excited. I'm such a big fan of Lars's, and I think we're gonna share each other's equipment and have a couple of beers, and it's gonna be a wonderful, special day. Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. We're gonna do a lot of promo. I wish I could be there. This is crazy.
Yes. I believe
Renee, if you start hitchhiking, you can make it there in about a week's time.
Hey, I'll drive and pick you up, Renee. I have an assistant; she can come get you.
Yes.
So I believe what we're going to do even is we'll have fun with it. Is like while Lars is recording, while Lars is playing. On my phone, I'll film some of it and put it on Kimono My House under filming him. And then while I'm performing on his phone, he'll film me. And so you should be able to get a few of the songs, which should be wonderful.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is like Kimono My House. Everybody is coming together. And I mean, you got to see Jeff Evans and Sylvia Madrano came down there. And I saw those pictures. I was so jealous. I was like, Jeff, man, I need to be there.
Jeff's an old friend and a hero of mine as a human and a musician as well, and a songwriter. But I hadn't seen him in 10 years or so, And Sylvia, it's funny because she has this magical presence, and we've just watched her grow, and she continues to grow in such a special, like she's not stopping. She's so great. And meeting her, I was like, wait, you're real. And she I think the same way about me. And And Lauren saw those pictures and he was like, wait a minute, she's real? I go, yes, she's very real. We had a great conversation.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Yeah, it's so weird when you know someone virtually and then you meet them in real life. It's like Pinocchio, they become a real person. It's so weird.
It's gonna be me when I meet all of you. I'm just like, oh my God, y'all are real?
You're real.
Well, I'm meeting Kim Ware on Sunday at 1:00. I've never met her in person. Yes.
Tell us about that. So what's happening with Kim Ware?
Yes.
Kim Ware is going to be a guest on 3 on the 1s and 2s on Sunday. And so it'll come out probably in June. Yes, I'm super excited. We've been texting, and I'm not saying where. It's going to be very private, but we are going to have, I'm super excited. It's going to be wonderful.
Are we going to get like behind the scenes photos?
Yes, for sure.
Fan stuff. Okay. That is so cool. This is so fun. I'm so happy that
thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, TC.
And congratulations on this new show. I'm so proud of everything you guys have been doing. And you're just getting better and better at it on the technical end, and also the conversation end, the questions, the answers, the flow. It's been wonderful watching you guys do this.
Thank you thank you so much. And so here we go. So why don't we start the show with "I'm Not Messing Around"? Let's do the original. Let's start with the original. Let's have Tom show us how it's done. Tom, show us how it's. I'm not messing around.
Okay, so I'm sitting here with this 1974 Casio Tone 405, which it's such a fun instrument. It's about 80 pounds, Jonathan. And
oh God,
I didn't write this song on this one, but I've had several of these over the years. But I wrote this song on the piano, which I write most of my songs on the piano. And I guess we'll talk about the life that it's had and where it's gone after. But I'll go ahead and hit some of the notes.
Take it away, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Left me notes, your promises and kisses. I put on the coats because I already missed them. Now I'm not messing around. No, I'm not messing around. I put on a sweater, yes, I almost felt breathing. I ripped up that letter when I realized she was leaving. Now I'm not messing around. No, I'm not messing around. I scream into the night, then I do some talking. Can you get it right? She said, let your fingers do the walking. I'm not messing around. No, I'm not messing around. Well, I'm not messing around. I'm not messing around. And I'm not messing around. Not messing. I'm not messing around. And I'm not messing around. Not messing. I'm not messing around. And I'm not messing around. Not messing. I'm not messing around, not messing around. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's how it's done. Yeah, baby, that's how it's done.
Yeah, was that okay?
Tom,
I don't know.
That was perfect, man.
Oh,
Tom,
man.
When and where did you write that song, and what was your mindset when you wrote it?
Oh, well, pretty obvious. I wasn't in the lightest of spaces. It was a dark place in about 2011. I wrote it. Like I said, I wrote it on a piano or keyboard, very similar to this, because I collect a lot of these. It kind of just wrote itself. I wasn't very happy, but even when I'm happy, I kind of feel like I write sad songs. But the first few lines, I hate to say, were semi autobiographical. They kind of just went, and I needed to get them out there just to get like 3 or 4 cinder blocks off my shoulders,
Yeah.
And once they did, I loved it. And the funny thing is I love music so much, and I just brought it to everyone I knew, So I sing with a punk band called All Night Drug Prowling Wolves. I brought it to them, and they did a version of it where it sounded like more upbeat, where it sounded like an Elvis Costello song. I brought it to a friend of mine, and I wanted her to cover it. I brought it to West End Motel, and they did a version of it on our album Bad with Names, Good with Faces. And over the years now, I think I sent Renee the original demo of me playing it on the piano.
So good.
So stripped down, but I've had people reach out who have connected with it, and I'm so grateful for that. And they're like, "Oh, I was in a dark place. Someone left me." Sometimes it's a marriage. Sometimes someone dies. Someone reached out saying that their grandfather died, but for some reason that song connected with them, and they were very grateful. And my thinking is, the more people who want to play it, the more people who cover it, I would love it. So I'm going to manifest this and put this out into the world. I'd love Frank Ocean to do an R&B version of it.
Oh my God!
That'd be powerful.
Yeah,
Powerful.
They're simple songs. I think I sent you the notes. I wrote it I'm a big fan of the sad keys, the A minor and the C. So I mean, it's heavy on G. But when I play it with Brian plays different notes, So there's so many different routes you can go with it, And like Renee sent me her version of it, and I absolutely loved it, And it's so funny because really you do one little thing to it, and then you make it your own and you change it, So I mean, I played it on guitar before, but when I'm solo, I love playing it on a piano or an organ, But with the full band, well, I'm lucky. I play with some really wonderful, talented people. Listen, it's such a simple tune, but I let them just wail,
Well, I think that's why it's so individualistic to the artist, because you create space in there. That simplicity has the impact that then someone can make their own. That's why it sounds different, by the way, every time you do it. You've made some choices tonight that you haven't made before that I've heard. So.
Yeah, I think well, like I said, I've been running around all day, and this is the first time I've actually sat down. So I'm glad. Thank you for making me sit down. But my brain said start off on the chorus, and so that's what you probably heard first.
Yeah, I know.
And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll try to do that again, and we'll see what happens. Listen, they're songs. We can do whatever we want with them.
I know, that's the great part. Jonathan, are you doing your version, Jonathan?
I've not rehearsed my version in a couple of weeks, so I think I'll be very tasteful and lay out, because I'm in the presence of Tom, and Tom is a legend. And my version sounds like I don't even know what.
So I'd love to hear you do it. Listen, and that's the thing too. My favorite singers for years, well, not for years, still are. I mean, I love Marvin Gaye and Otis Redding.
Oh yeah,
destroying me, and it's not when they're perfect. It's when they're out of their minds and their voice cracks and they're almost about to go out of tune, out of key, excuse me. And it's like you're hanging, there's an element of danger in the air, and you're hanging and everything's about to fall apart, and that's rock and roll, So Jonathan, what I'm saying is, if you want to do it, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Well, let me do Jonathan. I'll do mine first to give you some courage.
Do it great.
Okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to leave Tom on the screen to watch me, which is terrifying. So I'm going to actually. I'm gonna see his reaction in real time. This is messed up, y'all. This is totally messed up. All right,
messed up.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. You left me a note filled with promises and kisses. You gotta say kisses. That's the thing. I put on his coat. I changed the gender.
Yes.
Because I already missed him. And I'm not messing around. I'm not messing around. How come we don't say this time? Sometimes we say this time, sometimes we don't say this time.
Well,
That's a question I have as well.
I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
But you can finish.
Oh, all right. I'll finish it. I put on his sweater. Yes, I almost felt him breathing. I ripped up that letter when I realized he was leaving. I'm not messing around. No, I'm not messing around. Screaming to the night. This is my favorite verse. I love this. And then I'll do some talking. Can I get a ride? He said. Well, let your fingers do the walking. And I'm not messing around. No, I'm not messing around. No, I'm not messing around this time. Then I'll do it quick, kind of. I'm not messing around, not messing. I'm not messing around, not messing. I'm not messing around, not messing. I'm not messing around this time. All right.
And that right there is why I don't do it.
That was gorgeous. That was beautiful. Well, this time came, as an idea. That was probably, you start sharing your ideas with people that you write with, and someone was like, you should say that, because it's because it's a sad song, but that's like a piece of like sarcasm and humor there, and and we never want to take ourselves too seriously,
Right.
So I loved it, but it only works if you're playing with a bunch of people, and on the first verse someone says this time, because there's not enough room for me to deliver that second verse properly, which is so important. Now the second verse I can say this time, because then I will go into an instrumental or a solo, and there's breathe. And then the third is the end. We can do whatever we want, but you're right with what you said earlier. I mean, I probably never have done it the same way twice anyway, But I do love this time. I think I never want to be someone. I mean, I take writing extremely seriously, poems and songs, but I don't want to be, I never would want to be, someone who takes it's so serious like that. I don't have a sense of humor. So right. I'm a huge fan of, like the last line, let your fingers do the walking. That is, that basically is, I grew up in Queens, New York, as a kid, and I don't know, well, maybe everyone had the same commercial, but you guys are younger. But it was a commercial for the Yellow Pages, and now no one even does the Yellow Pages. But anyway, the Yellow Pages was let your fingers do the walking, and basically that's a funny thing for me to say. My ex is saying, "Can I get a ride?" And I'm saying, fuck you.
Oh,
That's perfect.
Call a cab. Let your fingers do the walking and call a cab. Like go to the Yellow Pages and call a cab.
I
And that.
didn't get that at all.
And so that was just me. Like I love when people say three lines that just gut you, and you're like, I've been there, I've been that sad. Yeah. But then they say, and my hair, it's beyond repair, and then they say something funny,
Right.
And so that was my attempt at that. And I've had so many people ask me, and I'm very free, I'm very open about where it comes from, but it's so funny, but no one's gotten that it's regarding like basically saying, yo, call a cab and piss off.
I never got that, and I was wondering what that meant. That your fingers do that, and I know that the way you sing that line is with such power, but I couldn't figure out what the emotional thing. And now I'm realizing you're telling her to fuck the fuck off.
Yeah. Like the last day, maybe you're emptying your furniture out of the house and she's there or whatever, or vice versa. But she's like, yeah, I'm sorry that I destroyed you and stabbed you in the heart and gutted you. But I see you going downtown. Could you give me a ride? No.
No.
Why don't you go through the Yellow Pages and call a cab?
That is so funny.
Yes.
That is so funny. I love that. And how many times do you play it and you say, I'm not fucking around? How often have you changed it?
I used to do it a lot because I was angrier, but these days, I'm finding love again, and I feel so. I'm a starving artist, but I feel like so rich, and you guys are part of it in writing and music and family and the relationships I have in my life. I feel so rich, and as an artist, I don't think I'll ever be happy. And I know it sounds terrible, but I'll settle for close to happy. And I'm really close to happy these days. And so, that in the beginning, it was like truly like, I'm not fucking around, like we almost called the song, I'm not fucking around, and basically had that as every chorus. And then we realized, wait a minute, come on, we want more people to listen to it than that. And some people be offended by it. Live and on tour, and you got 6 guys on stage, and the spirits are flowing. Everyone's screaming the F word.
I was gonna say, I could just see the audience getting so involved.
It's like when Country Joe McDonald used to do doing the fish cheer at Woodstock.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean,
Tom, you mentioned growing up in New York City, and I assume that your musical tastes got seeded there. When and where? When did you come to Georgia, and what drew you to Georgia?
It's funny because our brother and partner Lars Nagel got me good and did some research online, and right before this posted a picture of me at 16 years old.
Wow!
In New York City. So it's out. It's on the page. Come on, I'm on this page. Basically. Well, grew up in Queens, New York, and my dad's mom took a job. Man, all this Yellow Pages talk. my dad's mom took a job with Bell South, which was a big phone company.
I remember Bell South.
And we didn't have much money growing up, so literally our only vacation was we jumped in the car, me and my brothers and my sister and my parents, and we drove to Georgia for a week. And that was it. Wow. And that was our vacation. And it was nice, And then my parents decided they wanted to move to Georgia because it was cheaper and they had enough of New York, and they were worried about my younger brother. I was getting into a lot of trouble already. And so they moved to Georgia, and I stayed in New York for several years. And but then would come visit them. And then I came to visit Atlanta and hated it, and that was in the early 90s. And then I tried to live here and I didn't like it. I moved back to New York and got myself in not the best situations, and my dad was like, for a smart guy, you're an idiot. You should try Atlanta again. And literally the second time I moved here, I met B. Kinch and Ben Thrower and Mike Sheena. And Marlo Sanchez, some of my best friends who still write music with today, and I lived here for 20 years, and then when I was going through when I was writing these songs, and I was going through separation and divorce. I knew I needed to reinvent, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's just healthy for you to know. People say know your strengths. That's fine, but I think you should know your weaknesses. And I wasn't in the best place, and I didn't like it. And I said I need to reinvent, and I need to rejuvenate. I've sent this message to you, Jonathan. I love the letter R, recharge. Rebirth, and I moved back to New York, and I know for a fact that it saved my life,
Wow.
And so, end of 2011, 2012, and I've been there for, besides traveling for work, for almost 10 years. And, but, pandemic happens and I'm back in Atlanta, and it's been wonderful being here, so it's funny how everything comes around.
Full circle.
Yeah,
I want to give a quick shout out to the line I put on her sweater. Yes, I almost felt her breathing. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm 218 pounds, and I'm all man, but my sister used to say, so I have two brothers and one sister, and I'm best friends with my sister. And she used to say to me when I was a little kid, Tom, you're the sister I always wanted. You're the sister I never had. And I used to be like, what? And she was like, no, you don't get it, Tom. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You think like a boy and a girl. And I love that about you. And I have no problem with anyone, and I appreciate it, and I embraced it. So yes, someone left, and when they left some things, and I certainly didn't wash those sheets or those sweaters, and I wore them to remind me of them. Yeah.
It's so touching, and it's so poetic. Every time I read or hear that line, my heart just melts, because it's like you can still feel the person's breath and essence on that object,
Yeah. Well, the thing is for a minute, I was like, man, I can't even do these songs, so why did I put them out there? And that kind of sucks. But luckily now I'm just in such a good headspace and heart space these days. I love doing them, and they don't bring back any bad memories. Actually, the best thing about life and time, in my opinion, as I get older, is it's up to you, first of all. But if you allow it, time could be your best friend. And time has been nothing but good to me. And so I actually don't remember any of the bad stuff. I remember only the good stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Tom?
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Who were some of your musical influences growing up and as you were getting into music?
Yeah, this is fun. I guess I'll go in order.
Okay, go for it.
I'll go in order. Let's see. The Cure, tremendous.
Oh,
yeah. Hell yeah.
Still lyrically, hooks, melody, everything. Depeche Mode, New Order. And then I started thinking about and understanding stuff that might have been, I don't want to say angry, but stuff that wasn't maybe as new wave, because I love new wave, but I became just a follower, a huge fan of punk rock. So a lot of the English bands, I mentioned Elvis Costello earlier, don't let the glasses fool you. He was an angry guy, and what song? Yeah. So Elvis Costello, The Clash, huge to this day. I feel like I've been ripping up them for my whole life.
That's not true.
The Jam, who we discussed the record with Cassie on our show.
Yeah.
Shane MacGowan and the Pogues, but they're an Irish group, but wonderful poetry, lyrics. And then the natural progression from there was to look into stuff that there was maybe more poetry to it. So I would say for sure Leonard Cohen and Nick Cave, and then Tom Waits.
Wow. Yeah, that's an awesome lineup, man.
And to this day, still, you can catch me working by myself and listening to any of those groups or artists, and they still bring me. I had two posters on my wall when I was like 15 years old. One was the Psychedelic Furs poster, who I love them as well, and the other one was the Cure, Boys Don't Cry, and they both were black and white. And yeah, I mean, I that's all I wore, and the songs hit me, and I felt like a little bit like an outsider. And I got to throw the Ramones in there as well.
I was going to say, definitely.
The Ramones were so huge, probably closest thing to a Beatles to me and my younger brother, Scott. even though they sound more like the Beach Boys. But you know, even that song, they have a song called Outsider, and it's the chorus is I'm an outsider, outside of everything, and it just was like, man, wait a minute, you know, I know I'm the only guy in the block wearing this Vision Streetwear T-shirt and these Vans, and I got beat up 3 times this week. But there are other people out there that look like this, and they're really cool, and they write really great songs. And man, I'll risk getting beat up. They seem way cooler.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
Tom, what came first? The songwriting part of you or the poetry writing of you, or did they both come in about the same time?
Good question. Well, so I took guitar lessons and piano lessons and singing lessons as a kid, but didn't take them seriously because of getting beat up. And then, but then I discovered, well, I loved music, and then I also loved girls and beer, and it seemed like all those things worked together. You know, like wait a minute, you write a song and someone says, here's $7 for your show and 2 pitchers of beer, and then some girl thinks you're adorable, some girl thinks you're cute, whatever. But by that point, I had forgotten everything I had remembered, so I just fronted bands and sang and got into writing lyrics, but worked with other people, and so. But that was wonderful, and that opened up this right side of my brain that made me want to write poetry. So I wrote poetry, and that really fulfilled a need that I had. You know, I got a lot out of it, and it was, I guess you could say, a form of, you know, therapy. It was therapeutic, you know, and then from there, I dove into. I said, I want to do anything that's, you know, because I've always just like really thrived to, you know, living the life of an artist has been always just really important to me. So I was like, well, wait a minute, just because I'm not that good of a painter, I could still paint. So I painted, and I would find pieces of wood and cardboard and tires, and I would paint and paint poems and write poems on these found objects, you know.
Wow.
That is awesome.
And then a lot of those things, like the song "Fix You" was originally a poem called Early Morning Scribble, you know.
And we want to do that on another episode. We already talked. Jonathan and I already
to do that on part 2.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, that was originally a poem called Early Morning Scribble, obviously at 5 a.m. And I just wrote, I tried my best, and now I'm mess. If you feel the same, we'll jump a train. You know, I know these words don't sound very smart, but at 5 this morning, they were from my heart. And that was painted on an old friend of mine's door, you know.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I started fooling around with these keys, and I turned it into a song, you know.
Wow. That is so awesome. I love that.
Tom, who is your poetic influences?
Yeah, I wanted to ask that too. Great question.
You know what's funny? Because I think you posted a question about favorite writers the other day, and I think I mentioned Mailer, but he's just a wonderful writer. Leonard Cohen's, you know, poetry, even before he was a musician or songwriter, he did a book called Beautiful Losers that had a really big impact on me. If you don't have it or haven't read it, you should. It's really wonderful. But the other thing is and there are so many great poets, but a lot of these wonderful singer-songwriters like Leonard Cohen himself, I started to dissect the songs and stopped listening to the song and bought the vinyl record and read the back of it and read the lyrics as a spoken word piece, like for instance, Ship Song, which is a song I did last night. That's a Nick Cave song. And Nick Cave annihilates me as a poet, you know, you know, his songs are amazing, you know, but there's sometimes that I just sit down and I turn down the volume and I just read the lyrics, and they are books and books and books of poetry. Tom Waits is the same way, you know. I mean, you know, you close your eyes and you could see the sweater that person is wearing, or the ring on that pinky finger.
Yeah.
The whole point of this show is to do one song, and we will ask you to come back for I'll Fix You, but Sylvia and other people are asking if you could do I'll Fix You now, just because it's a live show and they really want to hear it. Is that okay?
Any excuse to get him to play it.
Can we get you to play it? We're going to go a little outside of our time here, but I think it's worth it. Are you ready, Tom?
Well, this is for Sylvia and everyone who asked, and thank you guys for having me. And
thank you, TC.
We really are all in this together, and I'm so proud of you and everyone in this community that we have.
We love you. You're such a linchpin of the whole community. We love you. So play that song and then stick around because Judge Hiram Sturm is going to come. So, all right, here you go.
At my best, and I'm now a mess. If you feel the sea, we'll jump a train. I know these words don't sound very smart, but at 5 this morning, they're from my house, and I'll fix you. Yes, I'll fix you. Then I moved out of town to make myself sound, and I sing all these songs just to get me along. I know these words don't sound very smart, but at 5 this morning they're from my house, and I'll fix you. Yes, I'll fix you. We let ourselves go at trouble now. Remember your promise that we're working out. And now these words sound like they're falling apart. Trust me, baby, they were from my heart. And I'll fix you. Yes, I'll fix you. And I'll fix you. Yes, I'll fix you. And I'll fix you. And I'll fix you. And I'll fix you. And I'll fix you. Let me 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 fix you.
Oh, wow. Oh gosh. That song is just so amazing. And I think Renee left.
No, I'm here now. I'm here now. No, everyone just gets so emotional when that song plays. Is it one of your most requested songs?
Well, that's such a weird thing. You guys have so much to do with it. That's a song that I couldn't do for a long time. The brain and the heart wouldn't have let me. And and I have a recording of it that I will put out on a solo adventure at some point. But for a song that's never been recorded or put out, because of you guys and coming to my house and doing these live streams, it gets requested a lot now.
Yeah.
But a year ago, maybe 20 close friends throughout the world knew it, but no one else knew it. And now, like, you know, B. Kinch wants to do a version of it for Western Motel on our next album, like with a full band and get weird with it, with violins and pump organs and stuff, you know.
Oh wow!
So,
good grief!
You know, so it's a strange thing. These songs, they're like pies we put in the oven, and we don't know when to take them out. We don't know when to take them out. You know.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. We want to have you back to like talk about just that song, but we just couldn't let you go because people wanted it so bad.
Well,
But
thank you guys so much. So, do you want me to stay in a room and watch you guys, or get off?
Wait. We're gonna end right now. But Judge Hiram Stern has to come on, and he's gonna judge the whole show.
Oh,
yes.
Renee,
before we bring the judge on,
yes,
you got to let the folks know who's on the show next week.
Oh, Jonathan, that's your job.
Oh, that is my job, isn't it?
Yeah,
I had a bit of temporary amnesia. Okay, so yeah, next week on the show, right here, same time, same place, we will have the lady who was a lettuce one day ago, the founder, Mama KMH, Kim Ware, will be on the show. And I'm still trying to, I'm having the same issue trying to pick a song of Kim's like I did with Tom.
It's so hard.
Oh gosh, Kim is just, for those of you who have never heard Kim sing, please go and look up her set that she did on BLT last night, because she was incredible.
I had to text her this morning and just say thank you for last night and let her know that I love the U2 song about her. You know, I shouldn't, you don't make out with your friends kind of thing. And that's what I'm talking about when, like, you know how to have that perfect balance of the song from the heart, is from the gut, from the crotch, but it's still, you can make fun, you know. And before you know, we started texting back and forth about it, our past experiences with other people and stuff. And I was like, man, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm texting with Kim Ware about songs right now.
How many people wish that they could read that text between Kim Ware and Tom Cheshire? That is epic. That's legendary.
Legends.
Oh my gosh, two legends.
And she sings like an angel. She speaks like an angel. And from what I know of her, I guess she thinks and acts like an angel. So I can't wait to watch you guys next week with her, you know.
Oh yeah, and she's such a great songwriter too. My gosh, the songs she writes are incredible. She's such a
Kim is one of those types where she can just sit down and just knock out a song in 3 minutes. I'm so envious of that. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, too. Well, it's amazing.
People doing these like weekend, you know, excursions around a fireplace, around like a fire outside, and they go, quick, bread shopping, and they write a song. No, it's going to take me a couple weeks before I write a song about bread and shopping.
It takes me about 2 years. So.
Okay, wait, we got to bring the judge on. Okay.
Yes, we got to bring the judge on.
I'm nervous.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Your Honor.
There's the
you
judge.
Look a little scruffy. You look like you haven't shaved, Your Honor. Are you okay?
That's what happens when you spend a day in Gainesville.
Yeah.
May I continue? I am Judge Hiram Stern, and I'm not messing around. First off, you started your show at 8:02. I'm waiting. Yeah. Jonathan Phipps, when you're giving an excuse for not doing a sound check for the show, first off, why tell your audience you need to do a sound check for your show? And these are the acceptable: illness, family, school, work. Not, I was restringing my guitar today and I just love playing it all afternoon.
It is true. It is
not
true.
Acceptable.
I like the Jonathan accent. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Do I really sound like that?
You do sound like that.
You did today. Tom, so good to hear that you and Lars will be performing together soon. If you are sharing equipment, please. Also performing on a 1974 Casio. Now that's history.
Yeah.
Jonathan Phipps, How long have you known that Tom Cheshire was the guest on this show and he was going to... Renee stepped up to the plate and her performance was not bad. A valiant try. Her chords were very entertaining. My point, you need a young boy to push you and prod you on. You should have done a song tonight. You should have done your version.
That's true.
As they say at Nike, just do it.
That's true. That is true.
Yes. I promise I'll do a song next week when Kim's on.
All right.
And don't interrupt the judge. Now, Tom, I was amazed at the fact that Renee did not catch the FU reference in your song. I caught it immediately. And that's the kind of person I am.
That's right. That's why we're going to get along great, Judge. Yeah.
I understand you not saying the harsher effing around and these days. I am one of those, you're so very special. I wish you were. That was just a little inhumor for Tom and myself.
I love it.
Phipps, your questions tonight were compelling. Good work on that.
Thank you.
But we have gone way. Don't worry, I'll fix it. But Miss Ware is going to give you all spankings, I'm sure. And maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Oh,
Oh my
And the last thing I
Oh,
want to
man.
address is Jonathan Asia. Seriously, temporary amnesia. You're going to go with that, are you? All right, those are my notes for tonight's show.
Well, and
Thank you, Judge.
Kim Ware wants to make sure that you're coming for her week next week. Will you be here,
I will
Your
be
Honor?
here indubitably.
Okay, there we go.
Can't wait.
All right. Well,
I love Kim Ware.
everybody loves Kim Ware.
We all
All
love
do.
Kim.
Such a genteel Southern lady.
Yeah, she's perfect. She's
Yes.
wonderful. So you'll be judging her next week, right? Next Thursday.
Well, I'll be judging the show.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
all right. Well, thank
That's what I
you.
do.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Tom Cheshire. Thank you, Jonathan Phipps. Thank you, everybody
Thank you.
in here at Cardon Media. We are so grateful. Thank you, Kimono My House, Kim Ware, Andy Gish, Lars Nagel, Mako Fumi, Sylvia, everyone that we love, and everybody here in the chat. Thank you so much. And we will see you all
Yes.
next week.
We love
Bye-bye.
y'all.
Thank you so much for